Don't be sad, ladies and gentlemen, it's Carnival. It's time for Brazil here in SLR Tier 2. I'm your host, Lover Lars, and with me today is not my regular CM Punk, but a brand new face. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the commentary booth, Boss Man of ESPN fame.
Of ESPN fame is a little overblown, but I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to call some racing.
Very good, and well, hopefully we will bring you some great racing. We've had some brilliant races in the past. The points table sort of belies actually how close it's been this year. Just looking at the points table real quick, we've got Gurla leading the Drivers' Championship with 67 points, Crystals on 39, and much closer behind Basco on 34 after a good showing in Miami last week, Verch on 30, Larson on 27, Smelto 18, Lepson on 15, although he has, I believe, since called time on this league. He's found it a bit too busy. So we will have some new faces in the grid, and I will bring those up in just a moment. Futuristic on 12, Ocean Chief on 10, and Magnetic on 8. In the Constructors, much more one-sided because of the way the teams work. Alpine over 104 points clear of McLaren in the championship, followed by V-Carb, Red Bull, Williams, Aston Martin, Sauber, Haas, and Mercedes. Ferrari, the poor prancing horse, still not off its marks yet with 0 points. Hopefully that changes today. And we hope it will do, because Brazil is a track where anything can happen. And I'm sure in your previous experience of commentating racing, how many times have you been around Brazil, boss man?
I've been around Brazil plenty of times to know that anything can and will happen. There's a lot of passing opportunities down into the first couple corners. You can get a great run off of, I believe it's turn number 11 is the final actual corner before you get onto the main straightaway. It's got a couple kinks in it, but it's a great passing opportunity down into turn number 1, and then you've got the downhill S section into the short straightaway, the Reta Aposta, into turn number 4, which also provides great passing opportunities. So if you can survive this tight S section that we're watching Ocean Chief go through now, and you can get close to the car in front, you've certainly got great passing opportunities down into turn number 1.
Well, someone who won't have any opportunities, I'm not sure whether it was intentional or not, is Piggy, who got black flag for blocking the pit lane exit. Now, I don't believe Piggy had a qualifying ban, so I'm not too sure what happened there. We'll maybe try and find out a bit later on, but we'll actually watch Ocean Chief. He'll be the first one to set a lap on what, in my opinion, is quite possibly the greatest circuit in Formula One history. I know some will say Silverstone or Spa, but for me, Brazil always delivers on excitement, always delivers on unpredictability, and it's just such a fun track to drive. As Ocean Chief makes his way through the Senna S and down towards turn 4. Obviously, purple sector 1, he'll be the first one to set a time. And we will just follow him while I try and find out some information maybe about what happened to Piggy. Bossman, maybe if you want to take him around the rest of the lap, I'll be just sorting this.
Absolutely. Ocean Chief works his way into turn number 9. One of these middle S sections. He'll work his way out of turn number 9 along those inside curbs through turn 10. Out of 10, he's got a little bit of traffic in front. Shouldn't bother him too much as he works down the hill into turn number 12. The final actual corner down to 4th gear out of turn 12. He'll go purple through sector number 2 as he glides down the main straightaway. No traffic in front. DRS wide open up to the line. What's the time going to be? It's going to be a 1:08.762 for Ocean Chief. That lap could certainly be competitive. We will see that lap time fall as we head through the rest of Q1. Several guys on out laps. Keyboard Magnussen sets a 1:09.125. 4/10 of a second off of Ocean Chief.
Sorry,
as Basco straight to the top.
Sorry about that. Discord being a bit funny there. Yes, on the mediums, no less, we should point out as well. Him and Futuristic, the only two on the mediums. As Futuristic, that's not a representative time at all. A 1:15 on mediums, that's nowhere near. That's nowhere near the pace that Futuristic is normally at. So, a couple of drivers maybe trying to save a set for their final run. The track will improve, obviously, throughout the session. We've got some yellows, but that appears to be just cars going slow. And Futuristic actually going for his proper run now. He's gone purple sector 1. So a couple more times coming up on the board. Verti, or however we say that name, I genuinely don't know, as we have some cars stock stationary on the entrance to turn 1, trying to let people through. obviously not wanting to incur the wrath of Stewards. Wesley and Tilda both in the 108. So as you say, about the 108s roughly at the minute, but that will improve.
Absolutely, it will, as we watch Futuristic work his way through the middle sector out of turn number 11, down the hill and then back up the hill. Crystal's in with a 107.564. What a lap from the Alpine.
Yep, Crystals is second in the championship currently. The Alpines have been on fire all season, no matter who their drivers are. Although only one here today, of course. In fact, we were looking in the chat earlier with everyone saying, oh, Gerla, who's the other Alpine, you're so far clear, you're probably going to win this championship. Gerla informing us that they're going to miss the next 2 races due to real-life commitments. So that could blow the championship wide open, and Crystals will be looking to take advantage of that, as will Basco, who's third in the championship, and the likes of Verch, because it's certainly close in behind. And that gap, when you get 25 points for a win and your rivals are not getting anything, that championship lead will be demolished to nothing in these next couple of races. So everything to play for.
Absolutely. That, if I remember right, that championship lead was only 15 points. So it could be demolished today, and then somebody could extend the championship lead next week as we watch Crystals dive into the pit lane. 107.564, 0.6 of a second clear of second place Basco.
I'm not going to lie, I've been looking up the track map to try and get the names of the corners, and whilst I found one, I do not speak Portuguese Brazilian for the life of me, so I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciations, but we'll maybe do that a bit later. We always like to try and get a couple of onboards of a full lap. It's fairly quiet on track at the moment. AR Gamer going for another run there, currently P8, 3/10 up in Sector 1. Obviously the first one was a banker. We've got, that's going into the pits. We've got a Sauber coming to the line. That will be, no, it's not Keyboard Magnuson, sorry, that's Joel, he's just coming back to the pits. He's on his cool down lap. We've got a Mercedes in behind. That should be Thomas, and he's boxing as well. See, everyone's coming in the box. We've come them at quite a low point. Whistle will also be heading back to the pits. So that just leaves Keyboard Magnuson, who's on his out lap, and AR Gamer, who is trying to finish his lap. Although he seems to have backed off. I wonder if he came across Keyboard Magnuson. And in fact,
that's what I was. That's what I was gonna say. Is that the traffic of Keyboard Magnuson really hampered AR Gamer's lap there.
We'll go on board with Keyboard Magnuson as he heads down towards the Senna S. It's probably the trickiest corner on this track. Oh, sorry, bit of game lag there. So easy to invalidate your lap by going over the curb. Through Curva de Sol, that small left-hander in turn 3, down the Retro Aposta, down into turn 4, which doesn't actually have a name. It's weird, I always thought it did. Try not to run wide and exit, as Keyboard Magnuson has done, but I think he's just got away with that. Heading through turn 5, up towards the 6 and 7. Try and watch that curve on the inside. It can unstill the car very easily. And this corner, turn 8, can be very deceptive. It's very easy to actually turn in too early and cut the corner. Through Pinarino, turn 9, and up towards Bico de Pato, the hard right-hander before you swoop down the hill towards, I can't say this one properly, Mergulio, I think, something like that. Then Jun Chao at turn 12, and then powered up the hill towards Subida de Boxes, and then on towards the finish line. Apologies for butchering my Portuguese there. I'm sure I've made enemies of the entire Hispanic world, to be quite honest.
That is much better than my Portuguese.
I don't know. I got a D in French, so that says all you need to know about my language capabilities. But Keyboard Magnuson obviously having better capabilities that time round, up to P4 with the 108.4. We are into the 1 minute 7s by a long way with Crystals. Oh my goodness! As Crystals came out of the pits, we have, that was a V-Carb, or Toro Rosso as we've taken to calling them. Who was that? That was Futuristic, who swooped over to behind them, but only for a brief second. I thought they were just trying to deliberately rear-end them for a second.
No, he wanted a little bit of that slipstream down the Retta Aposta. I mean, any advantage you can get here at this track is key. It is a relatively short lap compared to some of the other laps on the F1 circuit. So if you can get a little bit of an advantage by getting a small slipstream, you should take it.
It is a bit of a double-edged sword though there, especially for moves like that. Like Slipstream only really works if you have it for at least a couple of seconds. But basically, I feel like Futuristic lost more than he gained there because he had to take the time to actually come off the racing line, sit behind that car for literally half a second, and then come back onto the racing line. So effectively making his lap a bit longer there. So it can help, absolutely. But you sort of need to prepare for it and be aware of the cars in front of you. You can't just dive behind someone and get a Mario Kart style draft for half a second. But anyway, we're watching Wesley here, who is the Williams on his lap, as Verch improves to P8. Not really where he wants to be when he's trying to close the championship gap. Where's the rest of our title contenders? Crystals and Basco, first and second, so they're making the most of it. And yes, as I say, Verch is all the way down in P8. Ocean Chief, who's been a bit more quiet so far this season, is doing well, P5. Keyboard Magnuson, I should point out that's not a username just for the sake of it. Keyboard Magnuson is playing this game on the keyboard. The Steam recommendations be damned, it says you need a controller for this. Keyboard Magnuson said, I bet. And he's doing a very good job. Currently in P6 at the minute. We've got a bit of a traffic jam coming through Sector 3 there. Who have we got going around? That is AR Gamer going very slowly. As Crystals comes to the line. Currently on pole, do they improve their time? By half a tenth, so, I mean, any improvement is an improvement. And running well wide at turn 1 to get out of the way, and being reset to track, because they got their Kimi Räikkönen and got lost. So only one driver in the 1 minute 7s at the minute, which is a bit surprising. We've got 7 minutes to go, there's still more time, but 6/10 the gap at the minute from first to second. That's in F1, that's a chasm of a gap. Well, the Basco is on the lap right now, so sorry, you keep on trying to talk in. I think there's a bit of a mic delay because of you're in America and I'm in the UK. So carry on, my friend.
There's still 7 minutes to go in qualifying. I'm not super worried about the 0.6 of a second gap as we watch Basco out of turn number 11. I think it should close here relatively soon as people really start setting push laps. We haven't seen a major push lap other than Crystals. So as time begins to wind down, we should hopefully see that gap close. Otherwise, Crystal is just going to run away with this one.
Well, Basco aborting that lap. Keyboard Magnuson's going for another run. So he crosses line. We've got a V-carb in the pits, and so is the Mercedes. We've also got Ferrari out on track. That's Whistlewill, who I'm assuming is on a cooldown lap because he's running low on fuel. He's currently P7. So Keyboard Magnuson with the track all to himself at the minute. He's the only other driver. Oh, I tell a lie. We have, that looks to be a Red Bull coming out on the track. That'll be Verchi coming out of the pit lane for his out lap. So very quiet at the minute. They're all probably prepping for their final runs. You want to leave it as late as you can, and it's a bit of an awkward time. If you go out now, you might not have time to do your lap, get back in, and do another run. So might be a bit quiet for a few minutes here.
Ocean Chief says he's happy in P10 as Keyboard Magnuson out of turn number 11 down the hill into 12. He is 0.05 of a second down.
I feel like that's an old message. Ocean Chief currently P5 at the minute. It's Trooper who's in P10 in the Mercedes. As Keyboard Magnuson hugging the wall comes to the line, is a tenth slower than his personal best. So a bit of a wasted run there, but he'll have time for another one. So next up is Verchi, who is starting his lap and comes across the line, and we'll just stick with him and watch him hopefully drive this car very smoothly round. That was a clean run through the Senna S. It's just beautiful watching these cars, especially in the qualifying. If you go for realistic time, where we have this, it's almost like a sunset. So like that's my perfect evening, watching or driving an F1 car to the sunset. And he's immediately, did he back off there? Sorry, I saw a flash there. It looked like he turned off his ERS for a second. But no, he seems to be still going on. Nice and smooth through Sector 2. Well, watch the sector times. He's only way is up, really. The only one behind him is Larson. That's because Larson hasn't set a time yet. So, but Verci, give him credit. He enjoys himself here. He's just going at his own pace. He doesn't try to overdrive the car. And he's building his experience and building his confidence. And 3/10 quicker through the second sector. So that would put him well inside the 1 minute 8s, which is a vast improvement. And he's gone slightly wide. Oh, he's burned too much of his ERS on the run up to the line. I think that's going to cost him. He does still go inside the 1 minute 8s and goes up to P11. So not a bad run at all there from Verci. Further behind.
No, not a terrible run. It is relatively competitive with that midfield. I'll have to see how far the times from that midfield fall.
I mean, he's only 2/10 off his teammate, and Verge actually looking on the map has invalidated. That's why the mini map is red. So he's going to have to go again, or is he going to bail and get a fresh set of boots on? He's going to bail for his final run. Who else is on the lap here? We've got several in the garage. Thomas is going for... Well, if he comes to the line, this should be his final lap, because he'll not have time to do a cooldown and get a new set of boots on. And he is going to finish this lap, so he's currently P4. And moves up to... Oh, he doesn't. He's 3/10 slower. Not good, not good. And Tilda's going even worse. He's off the track. He's doing some rallycross. So, at the minute, Crystal's looking fairly untouchable, I'd say, without hopefully commentators cursing it. But 6/10 at minimum for Basco to find. That's a tall order.
6/10 is certainly a tall order, and at a short track like this, as we've talked about, it's not easy for Basco to close that gap. Maybe if he can get a slipstream from somebody, he can make up at least a little bit of time, as Tilda goes 4 seconds slower.
That was sort of a
mostly
cooldown
because
lap.
he ran off the track.
Futuristic on his outlap, and who? That was the Williams of Wesley. I think they were both on cooldown laps, so there hopefully won't be any disagreements there. Trying to see who's actually on the run, because we've got less than 2 minutes left. I know it's a short track. Trooper appears to be on his final run. Joel is coming to the line. He improves, but is still P6. Ocean Chief is on outlap. Tilda is on the cooldown. So Trooper will be the next one to cross the line. He's a 10th up on his previous best, which would move him up possibly to P8 at the minute. And we'll try and get them in the order that they come to the line. But some drivers have actually finished already, so they've gone out a bit early. And we've got a V-car parked on the grass there. Maybe just having a little break, having a little drink. Red Bull, obviously. Got to keep the sponsors happy. And Trooper coming up to the line. He really wants to hug the inside a bit more. That's more like it. No, still running wide. But it should be an improvement. It's not. It's actually down on his previous best. 10th slower. Who have we got coming to the line now? Sorry for the flicking. Ocean Chief is starting his final... No, he's not, sorry. Yes, he is. The timing screens were messing up there. It said he was on his outlap and then gave me a time for some reason. Tilda goes into the pit, so that's his day done. Here's the one we want to watch. This is Basco on his final run. Can he do anything about crystals? We'll watch the sector times. Through this NAS looked fairly neat and tidy. Coming along straight. Only marginally improving in Sector 1, although it is hard to find a lot of time in Sector 1. You basically have to just get the SNAS right, and that's about it. Whistle, by the way, has gone up to P2, but is still in the 1 minute 8, still over half a second down. Crystals will not improve on their lap time. Just waiting on the rest of them coming around. Basco through Sector 2. What does the interval say? I'm gonna wait for a little bit. Sector 2 is the longest one. Only a 10th up. 10th and a half. Keyboard Magnussen nearly displacing Basco actually for third there. And I think Crystals is pretty secure unless we somehow find half a second in Sector 3. Nope. Only a marginal improvement, but it's enough to get him ahead of, I was about to say of the Ferrari, but the other Ferrari has displaced him. AR Gamer with a 1 minute 7.9. Who else have we got coming to the line? That is Verch. 2/10 up and moves up to P8. Anyone else? Nope, everyone else appears to be bailing for the pit lane. That is us. That's us done. So, your final order then. Crystal's on a dominant pole position. AR Gamer second, Basco third, Whistlewell fourth, Keyboard Magazine fifth, Tilda sixth, Ocean Chief seventh, Verch eighth, Thomas in ninth, and SLR Joe rounding out the top 10. The rest of the order: Trooper, Wesley, Verchi, Futuristic, Larson, and Piggy with a disqualification. Larson, I just noticed, never actually set a time. Not sure whether that was intentional or not, but or whether there were invalidations. But Larson without a time and Piggy disqualified.
That was a fun qualifying. There's Crystal obviously 4/10 in front of everybody, but the midfield was relatively close. I believe if you go from about 3rd to 10th, it's 4/10 of a second gap, which should make the race relatively interesting. Yeah, Basco with a 1:08.0 all the way down to Joel with a 1:08.4. So should be a pretty good race. Lot can happen in the number of laps that we have. I believe it's 36. So it's going to be a tough midfield battle, but Crystals looks untouchable up front.
I'm just looking on the incidents. No invalidations on there for Larson's. I'm assuming he had a quali ban or just felt like, I don't want to do quali or something, because he's just been sat in the pit lane the whole time. I hope we don't get a Max Verstappen 2022 style race where one driver just pulls away at the front. Not that it wouldn't be deserved after the qualifying performance, but we would like to see a race for the win and not just for second place. Any predictions from your side?
Well, I think that, you know, Crystal's being 4/10 ahead of everybody, unless somebody can pull out a seemingly magical strategy or race, or, you know, unless we get some type of rain or something, it looks like Crystals is pretty secure up front. We'll have to see how that translates into race pace. Qualifying pace doesn't always translate, but he looks pretty untouchable up front. And then at that point, it's just a battle for second. Obviously, AR Gamer's in there, the two Ferraris. Basco in the McLaren is right in that battle for second. You know, whoever can come out of this race the cleanest in second, I think, has a great shot to challenge for the championship, considering our championship leader isn't here.
Do you want to look at chat real quick for me if you have it up? Because we seem to be waiting on the start grid here, and I haven't. I apologize if chat have been typing in there. I'm a poor one monitor scrub, so I can't really alt tab without messing up the stream, and I completely forgot to ask. I'm not gonna lie. We are on the grid here, and sorry, for some reason I've got onboard camera. It is lights out and away we go, and Crystals doesn't get the best of starts. Just away, AR Gamer challenging to the inside, tries to show him the door, but nothing doing. Crystals has the inside line for the second part of the CEST and survives. Basco and Keyboard Magnuson both jumping Whistlewell there, and Keyboard Magnuson on the attack of Basco in the battle for third place. Bit of argy-bargy bumping of wheels there. I think there was some net code there. The car seemed to almost go sideways, but Crystals has survived the initial assault and will now look to try and pull away. Further back, Tilda sweeping left and right, trying to find a way past Whistlewell, and the rest of them following very much line astern, and all seem to be cleanly through Sector 1. Let me just get some telemetry up for you all there. Looking at the winners off the line, Piggy, the big winner, got a great start, up 5 places to P11. Verch has had a horrible start. He's down 5 into P13. And Trooper didn't do well either. He's down 4 places. Piggy and Verchi actually doing battle as I speak. And Piggy losing out on that one, losing out to the Red Bull driver. But as they come across the line for lap 1, it will be Crystals from AR Gamer, from Basco, from Keyboard Magnuson, from Whistlewell, from Tilda, Ocean Chief, Joel, Thomas, and Wesley making up the top 10. Sorry about that, but first laps are always rather hectic, as I'm sure you can understand.
No, that was a good first lap. AR Gamer on those soft tires got a great jump off the line. He just wasn't able to hold it around the outside down through the Senna S's. He's still on those soft tires, a little bit of a pace advantage here over Crystal. It's going to be interesting to see if he can overtake the Alpine. I'm not sure that there's enough in it to overtake the Alpine. Obviously, he's going for the soft to medium as the race strategy is powered by AWS pops up. He's going soft to medium, which could give him a little bit of a pace advantage. He does have to go a little bit longer on those medium tires, which could drain them at the end of the race and put him on the back foot in the second half.
Well, of course, it all depends on safety cars and such, and I mean, looking at the way at the pit windows there, obviously the game only sort of predicts, assuming you're doing consistent tire, whereas AR Gamer looks to the outside and clearly has the pace advantage at the minute, doing what he needs to do, getting ahead with the fastest lap, and will now need to try and pull away and use those tires to his advantage. Crystals will be thinking about the long game by comparison, although should have DRS coming down the straight here, and indeed he does, as AR Gamer is forced to go defensive, but AR Gamer with enough grunt in that Ferrari engine to keep ahead. But as I was saying, looking at the tire strategies there, there's not too much in it between the softs and the mediums in terms of longevity. So is the pace advantage the way to go? There's a bit of a mixture looking at the tires through the field. We have some of the field on, about half the field on softs, the rest are on mediums. We've only got 2 on the hards, Thomas and Futuristic on the hard compound tire. And they'll be hoping to use the pace advantage of their softer tires later on in the race. They're playing the long game. But AR Gamer has not been able to drop Crystals. In fact, Crystals is right under their rear wing, and surely this is going to be the lead back for Crystals. Looks to the outside, and the slipstream and DRS is enough as AR Gamer tucks back in. Basco's not leaving these ones, letting these ones get away either, so Crystals, despite that quick quality pace, doesn't seem to have the same race pace to match it, at least compared to the others. It's still quick, don't get me wrong, but AR Gamer tries the comeback, nothing doing this time.
I think a lot of that race pace has to do with AR Gamer on the soft tires having the advantage early, and then Basco's just in the DRS train. He's tagging along with these guys, probably doesn't realistically have the pace to keep up with them. If he were to fall off the back of them, it could be a fairly sizable gap, as we've seen to Keyboard Magnussen as one of the Aston Martins goes a little bit wide.
That was Piggy going a little bit deep. He's obviously fighting his way up from the back of the grid after that disqualification, and does certainly seem to be a bit out of position. I wonder if he's getting a little bit too panicky. He's getting squirrely on the rear, as further up front, Tilda, his car was ghosted briefly there. I think he made a mistake coming out of Zhengzhou, and has ceded a position to Whistle in the process, as Crystals, now the mediums are fired up, gets the fastest lap of the race, and has pulled slightly away from AR Gamer, who really now, I mean, the softs, going softs early on is always a do or die strategy, as further back Piggy and Joel exchange hostilities in the battle for ninth. But going on the softs early on is very much a gamble, in that you need to be at the front. You need to be ahead, you need to have clean air and use that pace advantage to pull away, as everyone seems to be going wide down into turn 4. That'll be a few track limit warnings to watch out for, which could come into play later. But you were right about this midfield pack. Lower midfield from Wesley in P8 all the way down, really all the way to 16th. It's less than a half a second between each car. So there's a great little bundle of cars all battling away here, chief among which is Piggy, who seems to be really trying to get a move on here. And Wesley, meanwhile, is just happily leading his own little choo-choo train around Brazil here.
It seems like he's going for a Sunday drive, and everybody else behind him is cutting it up on the chopping blocks as Thomas looks for a move on Piggy. He'll go to the outside down into turn
he got a wheel on the grass.
Around he goes.
I saw that coming. It's so easy. He dipped a wheel on the grass. There's no grip out there, and the car will just auto-rotate. Bit of a rookie error, and actually driving down the escape road to reset the track. Not sure that's any quicker, to be honest, although it does mean he won't get a penalty from Codemaster's rather silly penalty system. Tilda, meanwhile, making up for his mistake earlier, gets past Whistle and is now chasing Keyboard Magnussen in the battle for P4. Up front, AR Gamer, just keeping tabs on Crystals, is about to drop out of DRS range, and Basco Not really. I mean, he's hovering around AR Gamer, but he's not really making much of an impression at the minute.
I think this is the crucial part of the race right here. Basco definitely has the pace to get by AR Gamer on these degrading soft tires. He's just got to be able to get the move done, and the dirty air off that Ferrari is keeping him at bay. We've got a car around, looks like futuristic
in the Toro Rosso, for want of a better word. And AR Gamer has dropped out of DRS range, so now we will see AR Gamer's true pace. Without the DRS towing him along, is he going to be a sitting duck for Basco? It certainly looks like it. I wonder if those softs have gone already. It's lap 7, and Wesley's gone. Wesley is out. Now, what happened there? Oh, we've got Joel in the wall as well. Now, where are they? I'm trying to see. They're at the second part of the Senna S's as we get the safety car. That's where, if you recall in real life F1, Alonso and Ocon came to blows during qualifying. I wonder if a similar incident happened there, as Wesley is completely out and Joel is minus a front wing on that Sauber, though he's still got the tiny little front wing, the chippy front wing on his Sauber. I really wish now Codemasters would implement a replay function, because unfortunately we missed that, as Futuristic takes the opportunity to pit. Oh no! Oh, and Futuristic's front wing is still damaged because the computer, for some reason, does not automatically repair your front wing unless you tell it to. Thank you, Codemasters. So Futuristic, trying to take advantage of a free pit stop, has still got damage on his Toro Rosso. Now, who's pitting? AR Gamer. Boxes to get rid of those softs. The gamble didn't pay off. He will do some places, but who's pitting behind him? Keyboard Magnussen, Tilda, Ocean Chief. So maybe this will actually benefit AR Gamer more than I thought. Whistle Will is staying out, obviously not wanting to double stack. Piggy goes round as well. Trooper and Verch pitting. Larson staying out. Verchi pitting. Joel obviously having to pit for his front wing change. Thomas stuck under Delta at the minute. He is also... No, he's not going to box. And Futuristic presumably will try and box again to fix his front wing. So most drivers taking advantage to get rid of presumably what was the soft compound tires. Let's actually have a check here. Yep, all the ones that pitted, except for Verch and Futuristic, have gone onto the hards. The other two have gone to mediums. Piggy, the only one staying out on softs, which is a very interesting call. And Thomas also has a 3-second penalty for track limits, just to make note of there. So an interesting divergence of strategy here. The top 5 have yet to pit. So AR Gamer, if he keeps within range, is effectively net leader of this race at present. And he is on the... He's on the hards. Would the hards go to the end at this stage? It would be highly difficult to take them... What's that, another 28 laps? That would be very difficult.
Well, I think if you look at that, if you go back to that tire strategy for just a second, there's a couple guys down in the field. Yeah, Verch and Joel, both on mediums. I wonder if they're thinking it's possibly a one more stop from here type of race, and they're going to go on to the softs to the end, whereas AR Gamer and Keyboard Magnussen are going to try and make the hards last all the way the final 30, 25 odd laps. It's going to be an interesting strategy. I think AR Gamer's going to have to conserve tires if he really wants to make this end. I don't know that he has enough on those tires to go all the way to the end, but
I imagine what he
certainly has.
Sorry. I thought you were finished there. My bad.
I was just gonna say he certainly has an advantage over Crystals at this point.
I was gonna say though, I think even the hard runners are probably gonna go for another stop. But what it means is the hard runners, they maybe have a bit more. What they're allowing themselves is a bit more room for strategy here. They're saying, look, if the hards last well, and they're probably not. If they go to the end, say there's more safety cars, all well and good. I don't have to stop again. If they're gonna die off towards the end, we could put a set of softs on for, say, 5 laps for that short stint of a race. If they burn out quicker than we think, we can go for, another set of hards or a set of mediums. So I think the hards, although it'll hurt them initially on the restart, do have the greatest degree of strategic flexibility. The ones on the mediums, they don't have as much time to make that decision. Presumably if they started on the softs, or the hards, they're probably thinking, look, medium, we'll stick with both medium tires all the way to the end. For your ones at the front, they're going to have to... It's a bit of a strange call not to pit, to be quite honest, because, I mean, Piggy is definitely in a bad position here. The softs aren't going to last much longer, and he's not going to have time to pull away, nor is he going to have the tire life to pull away. The mediums will heat up quicker, but how much life do they really have left in them at full pelt? And if you don't get a pit stop ahead, you know, you're going to lose so much time and fall so far behind the ones that are on hard compound tires. So I think Piggy's the big loser here at the minute. Not in that sense, I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't see how that strategy can work for him.
I agree that Piggy's the big loser here. I think the guys up front, still on those medium tires, are in the back of their mind hoping for another safety car that would bring the field together and possibly force these drivers on the hard tires to pit. That would kind of even out the playing field, but I think they can make this work. They're going to struggle a little bit in the short term on pace, but then they will have a significant tire advantage in the back half of this race.
Indeed. We're just going to go on board with Crystals just to watch the safety car, because we want to see if those lights are going out, because unfortunately we do sometimes get glitches with the safety car and when it's coming in based on the little banner at the top there. But it's behaving this time, safety car in this lap. So Crystals will take control of the field, and we'll have to basically slow right down because we need to get the safety car off the track before they can accelerate. And it can be a bit glitchy around here because, of course, the pit lane entry line is well down after the fork in the road where you turn into the pit lane. In fact, Birdman is only coming to the pits now, but Crystal seems to have timed it well, has gotten a bit of a jump on Basco. Not the greatest jump, though, and Basco is trying to close up. Is still well within striking distance, as AR Gamer immediately gets the lunge on Larson and moves up to P5. So that's pretty important that he's done that. Keyboard Magnussen on his hards also trying to get through, and if we look at the tires, yep, Larson was one of the ones who stayed out, and Keyboard Magnussen trying to get 2 for 1 there, and does so. He gets past AR Gamer as well. And they're all bunching up in
getting
the
by Larson. Getting by Larson was a great first step on their march to the front. Now they've got Piggy in front, and that should be a relatively easy move. They have dropped off from that lead pack by about 2 seconds, so it will be crucial to dispatch of Piggy quickly.
They're going to have to use ERS along the back straight. They can't afford to sit through Sector 2 again. Sector 2 is very hard to get through, and it's very slow as well, especially if you're on worn tires. Piggy sliding everywhere, turning this into a Formula Drift car at the minute, and really holding this train up. Magnussen looking on the offense, but also has to be defensive against AR Gamer. And AR Gamer is DRS enabled now for this next lap. As we're going to go 3 wide, it's like Spa-Francorchamps going down the Kemmel Straight. AR Gamer on the outside, both of them get around Piggy, and AR Gamer beautifully sweeps past Keyboard Magnussen as well on what becomes the inside. That was a beautiful move from AR Gamer. But it's not over yet. Keyboard Magnussen will get DRS. Tilda also trying to find his way through. It's all happening thick and fast here. Tilda unable to get past Piggy on this occasion, gives him a little bit of a bump. Keyboard Magnussen did get ahead of AR Gamer as Piggy goes off the track and has burnt most of his ERS as well. And Piggy really starting to hold this pack up, and it's giving us some great battles further down the order. Larson and Ocean Chief and Thomas all battling for position as well. Keeping tabs out front as well. Basco has now dropped 6 seconds, and Whistle is out of DRS range. So the front two starting to break away as we watch this brilliant battle in the midfield, as you predicted. And Piggy is the instigator, as he is really struggling on those 11-lap-old soft compound tires.
Yeah, I'm not sure what strategy Piggy is trying to pull here. Obviously, he knows better than we do, but
well, we think that anyway.
Magnussen and AR Gamer have pulled away from this train, and Piggy is just, I believe he's just letting some guys go, as he's got a little bit of contact there with his teammate through the Senna S's.
I think that was 3 cars along the main straight. I want to say the correct term is either being swamped or being mugged. And a bit of argy-bargy going on there. That's Verge being forced to the grass by, I want to say it was it was Thomas Thomas and Trooper, the two Mercedes, taking a bit of a blow against Verts there. I'm not sure what he did to deserve that, but Piggy is dropping like, well, a pig. And
I believe the correct term is freight trained, and that's what Piggy is. He's getting freight trained right now.
Freight trained.
I've
not heard that one before. You Americans and your slang.
He's got a choo-choo train behind him, and they're just, you know.
If I can confirm this is an adult stream, then I'll use the term I think we'd all use. He's getting effed, to be quite honest. As Piggy makes his way up the hill, and surely, well, let's just watch and see how he does here. He's got no real ERS. He does have DRS on this occasion, but so does everyone behind him. Thomas goes past on a slightly mucky Mercedes-Benz. Piggy trying to fight this out and bumping wheels, and that's a very aggressive defense. I'm really not sure what for, though. Is Piggy, like, what's his plan here? Is he rear guard action for his teammate as Verge, Trooper, and Joel all try to battle their way through, and this is going to get very rough and tumble, and Joel somehow makes it past all of them.
That was a very opportunistic move by Joel. He picked up several spots on that move, and now he can begin to scoot away from this pack and go catch up with his teammate.
Speaking of the pack, we're really getting some breaks in the pack here. Whistlewell 3.4 behind as Verch finally dispatches of Piggy. Thomas has said, look, I've had enough of you, mate, and isn't afraid to get the Ben-Hur chariot out and nearly losing it down at Jungsao. He really wants past Piggy, and he wants Piggy dead and buried at this point. These two are having a real old ding-dong. Piggy's back ahead again. Oh, there's contact there, and Piggy... Oh! And Piggy is out now. Was that a bit naughty from Thomas, would you have said? There seemed to be a lot of argy-bargy between the two, and I'm not sure whether Thomas just said, look, I've had enough of you, and put him in the wall. You're from America, you would know what a NASCAR driver sort of works like, where taking out is allowed. Well, I mean, the way they were doing the moves, was Thomas realistically trying to get past it? Oh, no! And Futuristic gets rear-ends Thomas, and rear-ends Futuristic. It's a virtual safety car now. But Thomas, that looked, you know, there were some very aggressive moves beforehand, and I think that was just, I've had enough of you, I'll happily take a penalty.
I think there was a little bit of that. There was a lot of contact in the middle sector, but watching the replay on the stream, it looks like Piggy kind of pins him down in, I believe that's turn 13. He kind of pins him to the inside, and Thomas wasn't having any more of that, and that's, you know, that's what happens when you don't give somebody enough space.
Well, we said it was Thomas. Piggy seems to think it was Trooper. I think it was Thomas in the end, but Piggy just saying in the chat, okay, good job at Trooper. So Piggy less than impressed with the conduct of the Mercedes driver. It was Thomas, wasn't it? I think there was a bit of misidentification on Piggy's part as DRS is enabled, and sorry we missed it there, but Keyboard Magnussen gets the jump on Whistlewell off the restart, and Keyboard Magnussen up into the podium places. Whistlewell caught napping. And further down the order
by Keyboard Magnussen. Oh.
Sorry, yes, go ahead. I was just looking at the closer gaps there, although they're fairly stationary now. Larson is pretty close, and Vasco are the two that we're going to watch here. The front two breaking away, by the way, over 5 seconds the gap now to Keyboard Magnussen. But carry on, my friend.
I was just going to say that was a great jump by Keyboard Magnussen, and now he's got the opportunity, if he can close the gap. 5 seconds is quite a gap to the top two, but if he can keep it close, he's got an opportunity with the fact that the top two are going to have to make pit stops. He could jump them if he plays the strategy correctly.
Yeah, not a good day at the office for Verch, even though he's in contention potentially for the championship. He seemed to get bullied out by, well, funny enough, it was Thomas again that he was doing battle with. We didn't see what happened, but Verch was spun around at turn 4. And further up the order, the Ferraris engage in battle. Now, please don't do a Vettel and Leclerc. Don't take each other out here in Brazil. That's all we need. The Ferraris have no points this season, and AR Gamer has been forced out wide by his teammate. And Tilda says, thank you very much. I will take 5th place from you. So it's getting a little bit heated here in the South African climate. Or sorry, South American climate. I can't even speak today.
South African?
I was going to say, the day that we race in Africa again will be a great day. Bring back Kyle Lamy. It would be a great track. But Keyboard Magnussen, that's taking a bit of pressure off him. Whistle will now P4 and Tilda P5. AR Gamer has been bullied out of this restart. And he's not going to take that line down. But temperatures are soaring a little bit here. Not just on the tyres and the engines, but also in the cockpits, it seems. Because we've had some argy-bargy, we've had a few questionable moves, and AR Gamer is all over the back of Tilda. And we'll get DRS, but so will Tilda. So, of course, we're in the DRS train, and AR Gamer, the pace he had on the softs, is not coming to fruition now on those hards. Although Tilda's on the hards as well, so obviously a choice of setup being the deciding factor there. And while we're looking there, everyone stayed out. Verchi tried to gamble under the VSC, but obviously pitted at the wrong time. He's near enough a pit stop down on his teammate, so he's just in a glorified test session, barring another full safety car. Up the front. How do we keep missing this stuff? For goodness sake, game. I didn't get any indication of that. Basco is ahead of Crystals. I really wish that we had some sort of automated thing that flung us to the action. But anyway. Basco did get ahead of Crystals. It wasn't on restart. It must have been under DRS. So they're both on the mediums. They'll both have to pit again. And we will watch these two. We also have to watch AR Gamer, who is close to Tilda in that battle as well. So we'll try and follow them all. And we'll try and go through them one at a time. Crystal's making the move to the outside. Basco losing out at Crystals with way more ERS. At the same time, AR Gamer gets ahead of Tilda. That was very early. That was before the DRS zone even activated. So AR Gamer back up to 5th. Any other battles? Larson was close to Ocean Chief, but nothing doing on this occasion. And Verch has gotten past Thomas, and Thomas will not take this one lying down, I don't think. He'll probably take it with a knife in his hand and blood in his eyes. Nope, nothing he can do. Oh, and trying so hard he goes over the curb and nearly loses it. So that's the end of that battle. This is the beginning of another one, though, as Ocean Chief and Larson begin round 3, round 4. And Ocean Chief wins out on this occasion. Here we can see the difference in the tyre combines, though. Larson on the mediums, as Joel gets 3 seconds for a corner cut warning. And Larson trying to stay with Ocean Chief and get that 7th place back. Meanwhile, the two Ferraris are back at it again. Back at it again at Krispy Kreme. And,
Krispy Kreme?
I don't know. It was a meme I heard once. There you go. Anyway, shout out to Keyboard Magnussen, who is blissfully unaware of World War III happening behind him. Or, sorry, at this point it's the Italian Civil War, as AR Gamer makes the move on his teammate. And now is trying to set after Keyboard Magnussen. Will he get the move done? Keyboard Magnussen now suddenly has to wake up again. Slightly improved straight line speed, but nothing doing. Tilda gets ahead of Whistle. Larson has dropped down 2 places behind Joel and Ocean Chief. Joel drifting it around the corner, loses the place, but brilliantly held, sir. That was some initial D-level handling right there. That was brilliant. And every time we see one overtake, they all seem to do it at once. So apologies for not being able to catch them all. But the main battle is with this mid-pack now. Whistle barely keeping control of that Ferrari on the medium compound tyres. Thomas is in the pits and falls behind Verchi, but will try and catch back up. Crystal seems to have consolidated his lead at the front, although Basco is trying to catch him up, but won't be close enough this time, from the looks of it. We're going down into turn 1. Does he go for it? No, he doesn't. Further on back, AR Gamer has a little sniff, goes a bit deep. He very nearly got on the grass there. That would have been a disaster. We've seen what happens when you get a wheel on the grass there. But survives on this occasion, but will have another go to the inside as they head down towards turn 4. Has another look, but again, nothing doing. Keyboard Magnussen seems to have this under control at present. Or does he? He goes deep. AR Gamer looks to the inside and is ahead as they approach the next turn. But on the outside now, he'll have to see track position unless he can carry the speed, and does so round the outside. Not sure what happened to Whistle. He dropped back a little bit there. He's 2 seconds down. But AR Gamer up to P3. And maybe now I can finally catch my breath. Oh.
The good news is that AR Gamer and Keyboard Magnuson have kept that gap as AR Gamer goes around.
He's got a wheel on the grass. Nearly cut across his teammate. He nearly had his teammate rear-ending there, but AR Gamer got a wheel on the outside in the middle of Sector 2 and has thrown away all that hard work until Tilda smells blood on the podium, and he's now passed Keyboard Magnuson, and the Williams is up to P3. Meanwhile, further back, Ocean Chief dropping down behind Joel, just getting the brakes in time, getting a bit squirrely on them as well as he tries to avoid rear-ending Joel B. Larson following in hot pursuit. Of course, Joel has the 3-second time penalty. Holy moly. But Keyboard Magnuson will be trying to chase that back again, but disaster for AR Gamer. I don't know if he had a lapse in concentration, or the tires were going off, or what happened there, but he just seemed to go wide of his own volition. And he's paid for it dearly. Now I can catch my breath. That back end just stepped out on him through turn 11, and that cost him all kinds of time. I was just about to talk about the fact that these guys in 3rd, 4th, and 5th had kept a relatively stable gap to the leaders. It has now blown up by over 1.7 seconds since we saw it last. It is 6.6 as Tilda works his way out of turn number 12, down the main straightaway. Keyboard Magnuson in tow. AR Gamer not too far behind. Wisso will a little bit off this train. Joel trying to chase down that second Ferrari as they work their way through the Senna S. Larson pitting.
Trooper down in 9th. The V-Carbs go to blows for P10. Futuristic up to 10th. Larson will slide down to 12th.
Keyboard Magnuson.
Yeah, that's Keyboard Magnuson around the outside of Tilda into turn number 4. A great move by that kick Sauber machine. The bad news is that gap is expanding. It is up to 7.7.
They never really, you were talking about having the stable gap. They never taught you about the commentator's curse of the ESPN, did they?
No, they did not.
They didn't. We quickly learned to either knock on wood after saying something or prepare for the consequences, because usually whenever a commentator says something, the opposite happens. As Keyboard Magnuson, as we were talking about him getting past, may find out to his peril, as we have yellows in Sector 2. That is, I want to say, is that Verch? It is Verch, and with... he's taking a spin there. And speaking of spins, Whistle will just getting it stopped before the pit lane as he boxes for a change of tires. He was on the mediums, and he is going to a set of, as the camera block, really, Co-Masters? And Verch with 10. He is having a rubbish day at the office, is Verch. 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. AR Gamer and Tilda are now battling again. AR Gamer, having recovered that time, has gotten ahead of Tilda and is now chasing back for that 3rd place. That seems to be the main battle of the minute. Basco is not letting Crystals get away as Tilda loses the rear. The tires obviously starting to go off. That's the hard compound. We said they couldn't go to the end, and judging from how much sliding we're seeing, they're going to need to pit. We're only on lap 24 or 36. There's still a third of this race to go. So, but the question is now, I suppose, do you hold on as long as you can and try and go to the softs, or do you just box now and go for the mediums?
Crystals and Basco still haven't pit. So you have to assume, as they are on the mediums, they will go to the softs for the end of this race, and that kind of forces your hand to either try and undercut them on the softs or overcut them on the softs and try and pick up time. But either way, you are stuck on these hard tires.
Pretty much. I mean, of course, we don't know exactly what setups the drivers are running, and as AR Gamer just holds on to that slide. Depending on what way, the big thing this year on this year's game is the tire pressures and how they work. It's so tempting for a lot of drivers to max out tire pressures to get the extra straight line speed, but to lower the tire pressures to get a bit more grip, especially in Sector 2. but it does contribute to overheating, and you just wonder, maybe Basco and Crystals have made the higher pressures work, which is protecting their tires in the long run. And of course, if you're a car that's battling a lot, you're moving around on the track a lot, you're running in dirty air a lot, it all burns away at the rubber. So the two in front, who have basically had clean air this whole race and have been able to control the pace, will obviously be serving their tires a lot better. But AR Gamer,
and
despite his
they are
condition,
in.
is not giving up. They're both in. Yes, you're quite right. They'll come out behind this battling pair. Now the question is, if they're going to pit the leaders, Keyboard Magnus and AR Gamer, are they going to do it before Crystals and Basco have to fight their way through the field? So they're going to come out. Let's see where they come out. They're going to come out. They might come out, but they'll come out ahead of Futuristic. So they'll come out P7, P8. They'll come out together. And all of these cars, if we look at the number of stops, they've all pitted once. And they're all on 18-lap hold hards and mediums. Now, if they're all going to stay to the end on those hards, that's the worst possible scenario for Crystals and Basco, because they'll have to do it the hard way and battle through the traffic. If they are going to pit, this may be a masterstroke because they're all within striking distance as soon as they enter the pit lane. So it's now a question of the fate of Crystals and Basco is now in the hands of the 6 cars in front of them. Although it might be 5 cars in a minute for Crystals, because he's gaining rapidly on soft compound tires against Trooper. And you'd have to say this is going to be a slightly one-sided battle here. Indeed. Oh, no, well, the Mercedes trying to fight it out. Valiant, but foolhardy, as Joel gets 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, just to compound his woes. So Joel is pitted, that's 1 car less. Crystals has gotten ahead of Trooper, but Basco has not. That could be crucial, because Basco is going to lose time trying to get past, albeit not too much, but he will drop back a little bit. Still within a second, just 4 seconds roughly to Ocean Chief, and then a further 3 seconds to Tilda. Meanwhile,
I think as soon as
meanwhile, Tilda is still battling hard with Keyboard Magnussen, so that will somewhat help Crystals and Basco. Of course, when you're battling, you're not optimizing your racing line, you are slowing yourself down. But it remains to be seen what these front 4 are going to do.
I think as soon as Crystals and Basco committed to the one-stop going medium soft, it forced the hand of AR Gamer, Keyboard Magnussen, Tilda, and Ocean Chief. If they want to win this race, if they want any shot at winning this race, they've got to make these tires last to the end, and that seems to be what's going on. AR Gamer a second down on his fastest lap this race, as Crystal sets a purple lap, 109. So I think Crystals and Basco certainly have the pace. The question is going to be, can they make their way through the traffic?
As Larson and Whistlewell engage in battle for P9 there, Whistlewell coming out on top, having pitted for softs as well. And you just sense that it's almost inevitable, really, isn't it, in a way? There's 8 laps to go. Now, to be fair, this is the only blessing, potentially. Brazil is a very short track. You saw the lap time of 1:09. And there's only 8 laps to go, so... Oh, and we have a safety car. Now, this is going to be a kind of a net neutral for Crystals and Basco, because they'll conserve their tires, they'll close the field up, but it means they have less laps to actually get the moves done. And the question is, what's AR Gamer going to do? He'll come out behind, but he will be on fresh rubber. He is going to box.
I think he's got to pit. I think everybody's got to pit.
Yep, he pits.
Except for Crystals.
Yeah,
except for Crystals and Basco. If you can pit here, you gain a massive tire advantage on Crystals and Basco. They've been out on those soft tires for, I believe, 3 or 4 laps, and we saw earlier in the race the fall off. We saw the fall off after lap 7 on those soft tires. So I think AR Gamer and Keyboard Magnussen are in fantastic position right now.
Assuming they don't kill each other in the process. Just trying to work out here. Safety car usually stays out for 2-3 laps. This will probably be the last safety car. The way it works for the game engine is if you're in the last 10% of the race, they won't call out another safety car. So 36 divided by 10 is 3.6, rounded up to 4. So when there's 4 laps or less left, they won't call out safety car anymore. So by the time the safety car comes in, it'll probably be lap 31. And then after that will be lap 32 when the closing period is. So this will be probably the last safety car of the race. We may get a VSC if it's needed. Can't actually see why we have the safety car, to be honest. I just realized this.
There was a Ferrari around at the exit of turn 4. I'm not sure which Ferrari it was.
Well,
possibly
it would have been Whistle because
but...
AR Gamer has survived, but he didn't seem to have any damage. I'm surprised they called a full safety car for that one. Surely a virtual would have been enough. But it leaves us, as you say, with an exciting prospect for the end of this race, as AR Gamer is already hounding over the back of Basco and is probably chomping at the bit. I bet if Basco looks in his rear view mirror, he'll probably see probably rabid, gnashing teeth coming out of that Ferrari. Probably hears him growling in the background as well. Let me at him, let me at him, let me at him. So, bit of pressure now on Crystals and Basco. Probably pressure they haven't felt for this entire race. And also, we can't really discount anyone at this point. Tilda has shown good pace on similar terms with AR Gamer and Magnussen. If there's a bit of a kerfuffle and they take each other out, Ocean Chief is primed to capitalize. Trooper has kept his nose clean all race. He's done nothing. He hasn't really put a foot wrong, even if he's only in P7 at the minute. It's wide open. And let's not forget that we have the ever-aggressive Thomas still in this race, and he is caught up to the pack and is on the fringes of the points. So there's a terrifying prospect for Whistle to engage in. And Verch, maybe by the grace of whatever being it is, Charlie Whiting, whoever it is, may his spirit be blessed, has been brought back into potentially salvaging something from this wretched afternoon.
Whether it's Charlie Whiting or Bernie Eccleston.
I wouldn't call Bernie Eccleston
whoever it is,
to be quite honest.
Whoever it is seems to have favored the Red Bulls.
I think what's it disfavor? Curse the Red Bulls probably would be more akin to it.
Well, he called the safety car to allow them to catch
either
up.
then he loves the Red Bulls or he hates Crystals and Basco. One of the two. We'll find out afterwards, I guess. And safety car's going around for another lap. So that's good. That's actually a bit better for Crystals and Basco. It means one less lap they have to nurture those tires, but it will mean that AR Gamer and Keyboard Magnussen will have their rubber up to temperature and much fresher as well. I couldn't call this one. The previous experience of me tells me to call it, say that Crystals can hold on, but if Basco's aggressive, could Basco take the lead? Will they take each other out? Will AR Gamer have the pace that he showed at the start of the race compared to Crystals, where he took the lead? Will Keyboard Magnussen throw a surprise? Will Tilda be the dark horse? I couldn't call this one. I'm going to ask what your opinion is of it.
I think I've already tipped my hand here. I think AR Gamer and Keyboard Magnussen on those very, very fresh soft tires. I think it plays right into their advantage.
Who would you put your money on if you were a betting man?
I think it's got to be AR Gamer. He showed a lot of pace early in the race, but we saw he was on soft tires very early in the race. They fell off at about lap 6 or 7, and that's going to be about what Crystals and Basco have on their soft tires by the end of this race. I think the advantage goes to the guys behind.
It's 5 laps for Basco and Crystal on those softs, 2 laps apiece, and not even 2 racing laps for the rest of them. Safety car light should be going off surely on this lap, you would have to say. Or is Bert Mylander? Yep, he does. So Bert Mylander has done his job, and it's now up to Crystals. He really needs to leave Basco in the dust here. We'll go on board and see when he gets the launch. He's not allowed to erratically change speed. He's obviously allowed to change it a little bit. He's in about 80 miles an hour. Up to the 90s now. Is he going to floor it? He's gone. He's bolted. But Basco has read him like a book. Basco is still with him. So is AR Gamer. So the getaway has not worked. And Basco, will he try immediately? Looks to the outside. Compromises Crystal's entry into the Senna S's and will hope to get the better launch off the exit. AR Gamer is right with them. Crystal survives the first onslaught. But they're all burning. They're all burning ERS, trying to keep it up with each other. AR Gamer has a little sniff, but nothing doing at the minute. We have 5 to go, including this one, and it's anyone's game. Although Keyboard Magnuson is still there. Tilda just quietly waiting in the wings. Further on back, Larson is trying to find his way past Trooper. And Joel is also looking to capitalize. He has nothing to lose with that time penalty, I suppose. AR Gamer is all over the back of Basco, and Basco is dropping back from Crystals. The gap is 7/10. AR Gamer is saying, look, you're clearly not capable of doing this. Let me through. Let me get past here. I can take him. But there's no DRS until the end of this lap. Basco just within touching distance. They've all burned. AR Gamer is practically out of ERS. He's burned too much. Keyboard Magnuson with about 40%. So AR Gamer, he's kept with them, but it may have cost him dear. Larson, meanwhile, and Joel are battling away. We're watching the front pack here because this is going to be too close to call. Basco has lost a bit more time. He needs to stay within that DRS if he's to have any hope of victory. AR Gamer down to 3%, and Keyboard Magnuson all over the back of him. Crystals using the opportunity to recharge and recover. Will and Futuristic are also battling away there. 4 to go, including this one. And Crystals, whilst I wouldn't say he's home free of them, out of all of them, he seems to be under the most control at present. AR Gamer trying to recharge a little bit. So are they all, in fact. Keyboard Magnuson with the most DRS alongside Tilda. Still all within a second. Ocean Chief has dropped back. He is outside of the top 5 in terms of DRS. Just got back inside there. AR Gamer is close. Does he have a run? There's no DRS for the McLaren. There is no DRS from the McLaren, and AR Gamer takes second place. Keyboard Magnuson looking to get 2 in 1. Does he do it? There's contact. And the McLaren trying to get in between the two of them. Reclaims third place from AR Gamer, but Keyboard Magnuson says, thank you very much for squabbling, you pair of idiots. I will take second place. But they have dropped outside of DRS. Can Keyboard Magnuson catch back up? AR Gamer still pressurizing. They're into sector 2. It says safety car in the top left still. That's a glitch, by the way. Not too sure why it's still up there. Basco trying to reclaim that second place. AR Gamer pressurizing. Tilda is still there, still waiting his moment. And if it all comes to blows on the final lap from these fiery-headed Formula 1 drivers, Tilda could find himself standing high on that podium. Crystal seems to have checked out. He's 2 seconds clear, so all he has to do is bring it home at this point.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are battling for second now as we have 2 laps to go here in Brazil. Basco right on the back of Keyboard Magnuson.
Yeah, sorry, they're in. Oh, no, sorry, it is 2. You're right. Sorry, I've lost count.
Now, yeah.
I've lost count. I apologize. 2 to go, including this one. DRS will be available for Basco and for AR Gamer. We've seen chaos on the last laps when drivers get too desperate. Will they keep cool heads in the heat of Sao Paulo? Crystals is certainly doing his job. Further back, Trooper is trying to give us some excitement. He's trying to take on Ocean Chief for 6th place. They all seem to be fairly well behaved so far. Are they just building up their reserves? Keyboard Magnuson goes a little bit wide. That's a lunge to the inside for Basco. A desperate move somewhat. He survives, and AR Gamer can't do anything about it in the tight, twisty Sector 2. They come round into Sector 3. Down to Jun Xiao. And Crystals will go on to the back straight to start their final lap. Who is going to be joining him on the podium, though? Basco gets a bad exit. AR Gamer with the run. He's on the inside. Do they get DRS? Both of them get DRS. It's a drag race down the line. There's a bumping and barging there. Basco loses out on this occasion. AR Gamer trying to get 2 for 1 as well. Goes round the outside to take second place. But will Keyboard Magnuson get DRS, and can he reclaim that? Or will he come under attack from Basco as well? Thomas gets 3 seconds for his troubles. He might get a bit more with the stewards after this. AR Gamer goes defensive. Keyboard Magnuson tries to go around the outside, but he can't do it. And Basco plays it safe for now. They'll get one more chance going down, I'd say, into Jun Xiao, and maybe a drag race up to the line. AR Gamer has pulled away slightly, if only slightly. And here comes Tilda, sensing the desperation, sensing the chance for a move, as we've got Trooper going backwards there with a ghosted car. I wonder if he disconnected, which would be a real shame on the final lap. Magnussen seems to be struggling a little bit, whether he's overheated his tyres. But as they come up to the line, they come around Jun Xiao. Crystals will take the win. AR Gamer should take second, but who is going to take third? It's Keyboard Magnussen out in front of the minute. We're watching behind. Basco has lost out. Can he get out dragged to the line by Tilda? DRS for both of them. Tilda alongside him. Tilda goes up to fourth. Does he hold on to it? Yes, he does. Tilda takes P4 on the line. Basco will be fifth. Ocean Chief sixth. Larson seventh. Trooper eighth. And I didn't get to see the rest of the positions because they all finished so close. What a Grand Prix.
That was a fantastic battle, especially down in that midfield. Crystals pulled away on that final safety car restart. He was almost untouchable all day. A great race by the Alpine, and that will certainly boost him up in the championship. A great squabble for second and third behind him. It was an extremely entertaining race start to finish.
It was great. Just to clarify those positions, not final, of course, because we have penalties to do with the FIA, but we'll not be able to do those now. Crystal's doing everything he needed to do, getting the fastest lap as well, so maximum 26 points for Crystal Gamer. AR Gamer holds on to second place, takes 18 well-deserved points. Keyboard Magnussen in third, Tilda in fourth. Basco, bullied out at the end, only gets P5, not what he was expecting today. Ocean Chief 6th, Larson 7th, Trooper 8th, Futurist 9th, Whistle in 10th. Verge, after a rotten day at the office, doesn't even get to take a point away from this race. Joel in 12th, Verchi in 13th, Thomas in 14th, and your DNFers, Piggy and Wesley. So, some drivers doing exactly what they need to do, others having probably the worst possible scenario, but very exciting for all of us watching. And I suppose I should ask real quick, your driver of the day? It said Larson, but I think that's a bit of the game just being a bit of a falsity there. Who was your driver of the day, would you have said?
I think there's a lot of people that it could be. I think Larson picking up 8 spots was great. I mean, Crystals ran away with it all day. I think that he's got to be in contention for driver of the day.
I'll put my voice out for AR Gamer. Went for the aggressive strategy. Was very quick in the first stint, and even despite his setbacks in the second stint, he battled all the way through. He kept it mostly clean aside from that one error in Sector 2, and was able to drag it all back into second place at the end. I'll voice my opinion for AR Gamer, but several drivers deserving it today. Crystals, I mean, yes, certainly Crystals, he didn't do anything wrong, did everything he needed to do, but you feel like half the reason he pulled away wasn't just so much his own pace as much as it was the others squabbling behind him. So not to take anything away from him, but I think AR Gamer deserves it slightly more in my opinion. But we'll just wait a couple of minutes here to see who we get in the interview room. And let's just try and work out some of the stuff in the championship here. So Crystals gets 26 points, so that will put him up to 65 points, which is only 2 away from Gurla. Basco will take 10 points for 5th place, I believe, which is only up to 44 points. Verch will stay on 30. So Crystals looking to be the main rival at the minute, although it is still fairly early on in the season. But Crystals closing it up to 2 points, and another race, of course, next week that Gurla will not be attending. So Crystals is doing everything right that they need to do at this stage.
Yeah, that was a fantastic result for Crystals, closing up that championship lead. If he can perform again next week, he's got a great shot to be in the catbird seat of this championship.
Yeah, just while we're waiting for interviews, looking at what I like to call the team radios, which is, of course, our Discord chat. AR Gamer with a sad face, obviously disappointed he couldn't get the win, but still a great showing from him today. Trooper with a question mark for Piggy saying, "Why are you saying good job?" And actually confirming I wasn't the merc who took you out, so it was Thomas that took you out. Keyboard Magnussen saying, "Finally some effing points." And a really great result from him today. Of course, the Ferraris get their points off on the board as well. That will catapult them well up the constructors. Should get them. I think it'll get them ahead of Aston Martin in the table, actually, if my calculations are correct. Ocean Sausage apologizing to Trooper. Let's see. So that's all being very civil. Piggy hasn't really said anything since. I think he's still in the cool down room a little bit. Obviously annoyed after another difficult day, disqualified in qualifying and DNFing in the race. Literally the worst possible outcome for the Aston Martin driver. We've only really got one person in the interview room, and I'm trying to work out who it is because their Discord name is completely different from their actual name. It's RCC Fedevera. I'm trying to see who that is. Tier 2 Alpine, so I can only assume that is Crystals. I can only assume that's Crystals. So
I believe you're right.
So we'll bring them in. If I have the power to. Yes, I do. Because they're the only one in here. Oh, no, we have some. Oh, there, you move them in. Stop. Yes. That's my job. What are you doing? Anyway, Crystals am I talking to? Yep. Yes?
Yes.
Sorry, Discord name not matching. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pretty intense race.
Talk us through the race from your perspective, first of all.
Yeah, it was pretty intense because, basically the first, safety car just messed up, my plans. I didn't know what to do, but I just decided to stay out as, the mediums were relatively fresh. But yeah, I saw all the others except I think Basco and another guy not pitting, so I didn't know if I actually messed up the strategy or not. So yeah, I tried to go as long as possible with the mediums, and I was just training basically Basco. He was behind me with the DRS, not trying to overtake me, and we actually pitted for the on the same lap. And yeah, then I got to the soft, it was much greater feeling than the mediums. I was just pushing as much as possible, trying to get back to the top position, and then safety car came in. And I was actually lucky that on quali lap I just paired a set of new soft, so they were basically fresher, and then just trying to push as much as possible. But behind me they were just fighting, so I just brought the car at home basically.
Fighting may be a bit of an understatement, to be quite honest there. So I suppose now you probably will hear us talking about it on the stream on the way back when you watch that stream later on. The championship. By my calculations, you are only 2 points behind Gerla, your teammate. Yep. And now, as I understand, Gerla is not racing next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know if it is 100% sure, but I think he won't be attacking. Yeah.
So you have a chance to take the lead of the championship.
Yeah.
Considering the gap from earlier on, did you foresee this, or what do you think your chances are once Gerla comes back? Do you think you can take the fight all the way to the end for the championship, or what are your thoughts at the minute?
Yeah, well, actually, like I said last week, on the interview where Miami was a pretty unlucky race, I said that Brazil was probably gonna be my best track, so happy to get this win. But when I know Gerla, this season, and especially in this game, he's very fast, so it's gonna be tight and I think a difficult battle. But we'll see. Of course, I'll try to do my best as possible to win or to get on the top.
Indeed. Anything to add there, boss man?
I just you pit off the mediums, you go to the soft tires. Before that safety car came out, you're trying to chase down the leaders. Did you think you had a shot to chase down the leaders on the hard tires?
Yeah, actually, I think so. Like, the pace was there, but I knew that the soft were gonna be much, much better, so I just decided to stay out. I was leading, so it's, when you're leading, it's pretty tough to make the right call. So I just decided to stay on mediums and just go for soft. But I think with the hards, a fight would have been possible, but seeing, AR, Keyboard, and Tilda, they were basically on a train and fighting each other, so it would have been more difficult, I think.
Good
That's
stuff.
that's all I got.
Fair enough. Well, we've only got one other driver in the com box. I suppose one thing I've got to actually ask there, because I've just seen it in the tier 2 chat. What wings were you running? Because apparently Keyboard Magnuson was running 0-0.
Yeah, Cuba was actually so fast in the straight. I got also AR in the same VC, and they were just complaining about how Keyboard was so fast in the straight. But I think it was like 50-40, something like that. I think I was running.
Well, there you go. I mean, so that's a bit of bravery from Keyboard Magnuson there. And he did threaten you for a little bit.
Yeah.
But obviously was no match in the end for yourself. Well, we'll leave it there with you. Congratulations on the win once again, and we will see you next week. And by that time, potentially, you may well be our championship leader.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
Bye-bye.
enjoy the rest of your evening, my friend, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. And the only other one in the interview room is AR Gamer. I will drag him in. AR Gamer.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations on finally getting Ferrari not only on the podium, but also their first points of the entire season. And also, I suppose, commiserations to a degree, because so close yet so far. Second place. Talk us through your day, because it was certainly hectic from where we saw it.
Yeah, I think I hope last week that I would get a good qualifying, and it happened today. Brazil is one of my best tracks, but I don't know. I went opposite to most people. I went with the soft at the start, and most went with the mediums, and it seemed to be paid off after the first safety car when I went to the hards. I think I was in a good position at that point, but I don't know. Kevin Magnussen was like my roadblock. I fell behind him by maybe mistake. I don't know. On the first safety car, I really didn't notice him, and he just zoomed past me. I think he had very low wings, so that his top speed was so high. I couldn't really compete. And when I was behind him, it was so hard to overtake. I had to really plan it, and I finally figured out a strategy to overtake Magnussen. You push him one lap, he uses the ERS. Second lap, you push him. Turn 4, you fake him out, you go down the inside, and you pass him. I did this strategy 2 times, I think, or 3 times in the race, but I just made mistakes after overtaking him that I fell back behind him again, and it was like he has infinite ERS. I think the win fight at least was there. At least I was able to fight if there was no safety car at the end, and Christos was like losing up. Because I finally passed Magnussen and I had the gap, but I don't know, just poor skill from me, and just I think hard driving for Magnussen. He kind of pushed me a few corners and to get past me, but we'll see with the stewards after the race.
Anything to add there, boss man?
So we ran this race. You pitted under that safety car. You put on a set of hard tires. You were effectively one of the leaders of the race after Crystals and Basco pit. They both go onto the soft tires. Had that last safety car not come out, would you have been able to defend from Crystals and Basco?
I feel yes, because I remembered the first stint with the soft. It was not good after like 7 laps. It was like 20 on the front, 30 on the rear. It felt very unstable. So I knew he would catch me fast. He was catching me. He was doing like low 9s. I was doing low 11s. So like 2 seconds per lap. So I would know he'd catch me before the end of the race. 100%. But the thing was, will his tires be in a good condition when he ramps it near me? And I think I had good skills from my past seasons in SLR and in F1 2023 and 22 that I could, even with my slower pace in this game, I could still, defend and, play games with him, DRS games, be it, or ERS games that I could maybe stay with him or defend against him. But I guess we'll never know. With safety car at the end there.
You've got, I believe these were your first points of the championship this year. You vault yourself, I believe, into the top 10. The Garla didn't run this week. He's still sitting on 67 points at the top of the standings. Do you think you have an opportunity to catch those guys and challenge for the championship this season?
Well, yeah. First, I was a reserve, so this is my first race as a full-time driver in Ferrari. So I had a couple points prior to this race, not enough to challenge Garla, and certainly not Crystals, because I think he had the pace today, even with like a good track for me, Brazil. He still had good pace. I'm not really sure I can really fight for that. Even the constructors, the Alpine are extremely good pair. I'm just trying to pick up points here and there. People will miss races. I will not, hopefully. And I don't think the championship is in sights at the moment, but certainly like a good finishing position in the championship. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. And I bid you goodbye.
There we go. Right. Well, I will call that done, basically, because we don't have anyone else in the interview room. And also, I have to go and move a washing machine, of all things, because it blew up earlier this week. So, on that note, unless you have any other points to add, boss man.
I don't.
That's okay. Well, thank you very much for being with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm glad we were able to give you an exciting race to commentate over as well. So, I can't quite recall where we're off to next. I'm trying to find the calendar here. Where have we gone? There's so many channels in here. Here we go. So, we have just finished Brazil. We are off to the Netherlands next week. Mad Max territory.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting race. You can't quite run 0-0 wings around the Netherlands. That's a little challenging.
Keyboard Magnuson begs to differ. But anyway, we will hopefully all see you next week for that, whether it be myself, Bossman, or CM Punk. Whoever it is, hopefully we will be able to commentate you through another great race like we've had today. But with that all done, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
And we thank you very much for being with us once again. Until next week, have a great time and stay safe, and we'll see you.